Hello everybody and welcome to the YouTube channel, The Big Black American Secret. My name is Daniel Jackson and again welcome to the channel. Over the last couple of days in the news we're seeing that a lot of police officers who've murdered unarmed innocent black people years ago are not going to be prosecuted with criminal charges. Now, what we're seeing is the system of racism, white supremacy, trying to correct itself. The murder of Breonna Taylor, the murder of Tamir Rice, and just recently Jacob Blake, the fellow that got shot in the back. I think the cop shot him like 7 times. Didn't kill him, but he's crippled for the rest of his life. Again, these police officers will not be criminally charged. Now here's again, like in the last video I mentioned, you have to be able to identify something to understand what it is. Our nation's police force is the civilian enforcement arm of the system of racism, white supremacy. The civilian enforcement arm of the system of racism, white supremacy. What does that mean? That means locally, the police department's main job is to police black people. Now, I know you may never heard it said like that, but that's what their job is, to keep their foot on the necks of black communities. Now, how can I be so comfortable saying some shit like that? Other than the fact that it's flat out fucking true, based on just the examples. Because you're thinking, well, you call the police when there's crimes going on. They also help other neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, and all that. Yeah, all of that's true too. But the bottom line, undercover objective of all the police forces, not only in America but nationwide, I mean worldwide, is to police black people. Okay? Being that it's a part of the I call it the octopus of racism, white supremacy, it's one of the tentacles, the police force, the national police forces, is police officers are not punished for killing black people. Unarmed, innocent black people. They're not punished for murdering these people. That's proof that they are a part of the system of racism, white supremacy. You understand what I'm saying? Had a police officer killed anybody other than a black person, they would get murder charges, or very least case scenario, they would spend some time in jail. But when it's a black person that's murdered, the system goes out its way. It'll scratch a case out for years before they tell you anything about it. I give an example. Tamir Rice, the young boy who was killed 2014. That's 7 years ago. Yeah, no. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, that's 7 years ago. 7 years ago. His murder kicked off the Black Lives Matter movement. So they know they had to scratch this shit out before they come back and tell us, oh, well, there'll be no charges against the police officer that shot him. You understand what I'm saying? Just so that there would not be another uprising. But people, protesting is a waste of fucking time. It achieves absolutely nothing. Absolutely. I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm so sorry to tell you the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit, because the goal of my YouTube channel is to, I won't read that long thing that I read yesterday, but the goal is to replace the system of racism, white supremacy with the system of freedom, justice, and equality, as laid out by Dr. Frances Cress Wells. Her video that explains racism, white supremacy, or it'll be in the description of this video. So please watch it and share it with people you love and your family members and friends. Very important. But police officers in the system of racism, white supremacy will not be charged or punished properly for murdering unarmed, innocent black people. Because again, America, because it's a racist organization, the Corporation of America, the Cooperation of America, not the country of America, but the illegal cooperation of America, is a racist organization operating illegally on foreign soil. I'm going to just say that flat out because it's the truth. Any treaty that they signed was not with the original Aboriginal people. You see what I'm saying? And the treaties they did sign, they didn't honor them any fucking way. But anyway, I don't want to get too deep off into that right now. America, racist America, rewards its killers. How, in this case, how is this officer being rewarded? By not being charged criminally. You understand what I'm saying? But remember that black cop shot that white woman? She actually called 911. Cop showed up on the scene. She startled the cop, and this I think this dude was he's a black guy, Muslim fella. He shot her. His ass in jail. Didn't take long at all. People, y'all gotta know what y'all dealing with here. We dealing with the system of racism, white supremacy. The police force is the civilian enforcement arm of the system of racism, white supremacy. You understand what I'm saying? So we can't lean heavily on the police departments to protect us. You know, we need to try to solve most of our problems on our own. Call them if and only when absolutely fucking necessary. Because again, you calling your enemy to help solve your problems. We don't need them in our neighborhoods. We'll police ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what it's going to take. The least amount of contact with these people as possible. You know? And please don't think I'm talking about individual police officers. No. The police forces nationally are a racist organization. Individual police officers are just that. They're individuals. Some of them very good people. I'm sure they're not racist. But it's undeniable, unfucking deniable, that the organization itself is very racist. It was conceived out of racism. Hell, they were slave patrols. That's what the police force was born out of. That's undeniable. You understand what I'm saying? So what I want you to understand is that we're starting to see a barrage of where the cops are not being charged criminally for killing unarmed, innocent black people. And this is the system of racism, white supremacy, taking back dominance over this situation because we raised a lot of public hell behind these shootings. You see what I'm saying? We'll ride a little bit, and somebody else gets shot, we'll ride again. You know, that brings a lot of attention, yes. But as far as really fixing the problem, it does not. Because I guarantee tomorrow, day after, they're going to shoot another unarmed, innocent black person. And the cop will not be charged. Now, I'm about solutions. I don't like to just keep talking about the problems. You understand what I'm saying? So, I just mentioned one solution. As least contact with these racist organizations as possible. Let's police ourselves. You know, if we could deal with our problems in our own, let's try to do that. That would be a solution somewhat. But the goal is ultimately is to destroy this evil, racist, white supremacist system and replace it again with freedom, justice, and equality. Okay? Now, just recently, well, today I heard about this fella, Jacob Blake. He was shot on August 23rd of last year, again in his back by a race soldier, and again no charges for that officer. Breonna Taylor on March 13th last year, she was killed in her home by race soldiers. Officers not charged with her murder. Still to this day. And going back to 2014 on November 22nd, Tamir Rice was murdered. Within seconds of that cop opening his car door, he shot this young man down. I'm sorry, this young kid, not a young man, a young kid, because that's what the white media do. They'll say young man to start to paint a picture of him being a man. This was a boy, 12 years old, adolescent. I mean, well, not even a teenager yet, 12 years old, okay? You're not a teenager till you're 13. I don't even know why I even have to explain some shit like that. But that's what the system of racism, white supremacy does. When one of us come up killed, it'll dig into our backgrounds and try to find some dirt on the victim, just to take the pressure off the cop that murdered the innocent black person. Y'all see how that works? People, there are two Americas. There is the continent of America, which belongs to black people, and the illegal cooperation that was created, hell, a couple of hundred years ago, by the settlers. Two Americas. There is a white racist America, and there is a black America. And I hate to have to say this shit, but I'm not saying every white person is racist. Not every white person is a racist white supremacist. You know what I'm saying? And not every black person feels the way I feel. It's simple. So if you're not racist, don't get all in your feelings. Please, because it's unproductive. Unfucking productive. Now, I'm going to say what some white people say when they come to this question. I have white people in my family, if that helps you at all. Okay? Anyway, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I think somebody needed to hear that. And I'm through trying to qualify myself. If you're a white person and you're watching this, then maybe you're watching the wrong shit. This is for my people. I'm communicating to my people right now. So I may say some shit that's going to offend you because you are obviously not black. But please understand, if you're not a racist, I got no problems with you. Capiche? Now, we just have to understand what we're dealing with at all times. There are 9 areas of people activity. 9 areas of people activity. I'm going to see if I could pull them up. Let me see if I can pull them up. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she mentions the 9 areas of people activity. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Of people activity. It may come up, it may not. Let's see. Apologize about the pause, but I'm trying to read something here. Okay. I found it. 9 areas of people activity, and in all of these areas, the system of racism, white supremacy operates in economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And right now, we're talking about law, the police force. But again, the system of racism operates in all of those. Everything for black people has been weaponized, from the food we eat to the music we listen to, has been weaponized against us. You know, the reason we are stricken with diabetes and health problems, you know, it ain't so much that we have bad eating habits per se. It's the fact of poor education and understanding these things. And that's not an accident. The more of us that get sick and die, the few of us are on the continent. Those are people that racist white people don't have to deal with. So it's no big deal. Your health issues, they could care less about. That's why our health insurance is a problem. You know what I'm saying? All of these things have been weaponized against you. The music, to a large extent, rap music, for one, is one of the biggest weapons that they well, not weapons, but they have weaponized rap music against us. How so? Well, in the 90s, rap came about, and most of the artists were speaking about social justice issues or just, you know, the racist system, because that's what we've been dealing with our whole. So since we met these people hundreds of years ago, that's was always on our mental. So they was expressing it through rap music. You know, Public Enemy, KRS-One, the Conscious Rapper. All of these people was speaking on positive things and how we could make changes. I mean, it was real lovely, you know. And then NWA came on the scene, and they too was speaking about what was going on in their neighborhood with police violence and murders, and so much so that it was starting to mobilize people against the police. Positive changes, you know what I'm saying? And so the government got busy. They started to get into the music industry to redirect the attention of that very powerful tool, rap, you know? So they turned conscious rap, they turned people away from the focus of conscious rap to gangster rap. Now, rap music is actually sending our children to jail and to the grave. You understand what I'm saying? It's been weaponized against us, and it's so amazing that we live in environments that are dangerous for us. There are booby traps set everywhere, and we don't know what's going on around us. That's one of the reasons I created this channel, is to help bring awareness to the system of racism, white supremacy. And again, Dr. Frances Cress Welson's video will be in the description. It should be in the description of all of my videos going forward. Because when I came across this video, it was like somebody took the blinders off, man. I was like, this is it. You know, we everybody need to hear this, because it explains so much. It explains so much. Please watch the video in the description, and then share that video out to your friends and family. You ain't got to try to explain shit to nobody. Just put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagrams, wherever you got a social media account, just put it out there. And it don't matter. They watch it, they don't watch it, they explain. You ain't got to explain nothing to nobody. Because when people watch it, they're going to have to deal with it the best way they know how to deal with it. But our goal is to at least expose them to it. You understand what I'm saying? Because when enough of us start to see things for what they are, then we can all start to make positive changes in our areas of expertise and in lives. And then our children. Those are the ones who are going to make the most changes. It won't be you and I. It'll be people coming behind us. But it's up to us to feed these young minds this information so that they can make better moves and not be caught off guard by the system of racism, white supremacy. That makes sense? I hope it does. But again, these cops not being charged, you're going to start to see this across the board, people, because America will not punish its killers of black people. That would go against the system of racism, white supremacy. If they don't have a system in place to keep us down, foot on our neck, they're unprotected. And they can't afford to be unprotected. You see what I'm saying? It's an evil, vicious system, and we are the prey. And we have to change that. Again, we're changing that system to the system of freedom, justice, and equality through education. Each one teach one. See what I'm saying? You know, we passing this information along to each other so that we can, everybody start to get in alignment. You understand what I'm saying? As hard as it is to watch day after day, month after month, year after year, our people being killed, our innocent people being killed by race soldiers, and we not able to really do anything about it, it's frustrating, you know. And physically, I wish there was something we could do other than marching. I honestly just don't know what that is right now, except for to continue to help educate my people so that we can make better moves. I mean, it would be such a lovely thing if the good police officers could take over the police departments. You know, just run those racist bastards up out of them police departments. Because again, individual police officers are not the problem. They are operating in a racist system. The police force itself is a racist system. So here's my hope and goal. If I'm able to help educate enough people who will one day become police commanders and chiefs, and they're black first, system of racism, white supremacy goes bye-bye in those entities. You see what I'm saying? It's like a quiet takeover. And which is the way it should be, because these systems should not exist. Racism, white supremacy is an evil, illegal, immoral, unjust, horrible system created by evil people. And it's got to go bye-bye. It's got to go bye-bye. So I'm going to keep doing my part. Y'all keep doing your part by sharing this information, helping other people. And again, this channel, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and then hit all, so that you're notified when I make more videos or go live. But it's going to be up to us people to help educate those who are stuck in not knowing this, so to speak. Because right now, the way things are, as black people, we're split down the middle. Half of us are house Negroes. The other half are field Negroes. Malcolm X made a speech about that years ago. And I think I'm going to make a video to kind of help people make a decision as to, are they house Negroes or field Negroes? Now, of course, there is a third area of black folks that's kind of undecided. It's always a third category. You know, when I say split 50-50, I'm just talking on either end of the spectrum. You know, the middle part there is you got some stragglers and some gray area. But on opposite ends of the spectrum, you have black people who are okay with the system of racism, white supremacy. Those are your house Negroes. And then you have, on the other end of the spectrum, you have black people who know that there's something going on. There's something very bad, something wrong going on here, and we need change. Those are your field Negroes. You see what I'm saying? You know, we also call the house niggers Sambos. They used to call them Uncle Tom, but that was the wrong categorization. Uncle Tom's a good dude. You know, he's a good dude. Sambo was a bad dude, bad black person. Okay, so I'm hoping that everybody I'm talking to and can help influence. If you are comfortable with the system of racism, white supremacy, I want to make you uncomfortable so that you can become a field Negro. You see what I'm saying? Because no black person needs to be comfortable with the system of racism, white supremacy, because, well, let me just back up a little bit. What would make a black person comfortable with the system of racism, white supremacy? One, they don't understand that the system even exists. Two, they're operating within the system. How can I put this? If you are just kind of going through life, you know, you're just a regular person, just like I was years ago. You know, we get a job, get education, get a job, live our life, take care of our families, don't have any problems with the police, and, you know, everything seems to be pretty normal because we're operating within the system of racism, white supremacy. We're not bumping heads with the system. We're going along with the system. And you might say, well, what's wrong with that? You know, feeding your family, taking care of your family, that's good, right? Yeah, it is good. If the majority of your people aren't being subjugated and murdered. You see what I'm saying? If there wasn't such a gap, a wealth gap between white and black, you know, if there wasn't so much inequality, then yeah, it would be okay to be everybody's just humming along, because that would be a perfect situation. But no, that black person is blind to all the negative thing that's going on to all the other black people in the United States, because their life is okay. These people have very high self-esteem. They care a lot about themselves. Very low group esteem. They don't give a shit about other black people. You know, these are white supremacists. These are black people that are white supremacists. They may not know it. You understand what I'm saying? A person like me can't be happy unless I'm doing good and my people doing good. You know, we need a balance when it comes to that. You got to have high self-esteem and high group esteem. Those are your field Negroes. Them people who won't change, who need change, who will die for change. You know, so, you know what? I ain't gonna make another video. I'm gonna just say the shit out. I'm gonna start it here on this video. How do you know a person who is how can I categorize or identify someone who's a house Negro? Well, these are the things I've come up with so far. And some of these things are gonna offend you. Some of these things are gonna flat out fucking offend you. And if they do, I'm gonna apologize in advance, but I promise you I'm not telling you a lie. And here, and I'm telling you these things because I, at one time, was a house Negro. I did not know it. I did not fucking know it. But here goes, people. And I'm going to start this off by saying that education is indoctrination. Okay? Education ain't so much about teaching you that 1 + 1 = 2 and your ABCs. No, it's about indoctrinating you into a system of racism, white supremacy. Okay? So the higher your education level, it's a good chance the more you are a house Negro, because your indoctrination levels are high. I mean, think about it. When you get your master's degree, you have to complete your doctrines. I mean, what is it? Your dissertation to get your doctrines degree. Doctrine, indoctrination. You know? Okay. So, highly educated black people, a good percentage of those people are blind to the plight of the group. Okay? The higher your education level, the more at risk you are to be a white supremacist as a black person. Okay? Religion. If you are a religious person, is a very high degree that you are blind to the plight of your people. Now, what do I mean? Well, when I say religion, I mean all religions. Christianity, Buddhism, Muslimism, all the isms. Because religion teaches us to look outside of ourselves for the answer. To look to the sky for a savior who's going to solve problems. You know, you say, well, what does that got to do with racism, white supremacy? Well, you're looking for a savior when the whole time you are the savior. You are, you know, I may not put that in the right way, but let me put it like this. Religion, just like the white news organs, are the indoctrination arms of the system of racism, white supremacy. And that's all religions. It's none excluded. Every colonizer on every continent, when they conquered, they came with their religion first. In order to enslave a person's body, you first must enslave their mind. And religion was that one tool that worked so wonderfully. It has lasted. It has outweighed and outlasted the test of time. You understand? The Indians who were enslaved here in America were able to avoid being enslaved if they would submit to being baptized into the Christian faith. And then those Indians became indoctrinated, and therefore they became slave catchers for other Indians. And here's how they justified it in their minds, the same way the white people did. They said that you're a heathen and you must be made Christian in order to be pure and made whole, and you will escape hell, and Jesus is your Lord and Savior. So therefore, when they went after their own brothers and sisters who were Indians, they no longer saw them as brothers and sister Indians. They saw them as heathens who were unsaved and therefore inhuman and therefore ripe for enslavement. You see how that works? So religion across the board, if you are a religious person, it's a very strong chance that you are a white supremacist. Okay? Now, the reason religion works so well on melanated people is because we're melanated people. We are spiritual people. We're connected to the dirt. We are the original people of this planet. We are spiritual people. We are connected to every element on this planet and in this universe. So we have a innate need to be connected to something greater than ourselves, i.e. this universe. You see what I'm saying? So religion is almost a perfect weapon. Because we're spiritual, most of us believe we need a God. You understand what I'm saying? And they were able to pervert that spirituality and turn it into religion. And that's how we're ensnared mentally enslaved, and therefore the body becomes enslaved afterwards. Now, again, these are profiles of white supremacists that happen to be black. Education, religion. If you serve in a military, if you've served in the military, there's a good chance that you have been indoctrinated to an extent that you are very much a white supremacist as a black person. If you are a police officer, same thing. These are certain positions like that. They for one, in the military, religion is used to complete your training. You know, when you go into war, this is for God and country. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to be a little leery. Now, all of us are white supremacists because we're all raised up in a white supremacist system. Nobody's born and raised militant. That's something that you're going to have to learn and see. You know, you're going to have to first have your heart broken by the system of racism, white supremacy. You know, the system is going to have to piss you off enough to where you're going to say, something ain't right here. Something is wrong. I can't put my damn fingers on it, but something just ain't right here. It's going to have to hit you personally like it hit me. And I've got a story that I tell about something in my past where I was awakened to the fact that racism was in and about me all the way around me, and I just didn't know it. Dealing with stress, and headaches, and gaining weight, and drinking heavy, and did not know why. You know what I'm saying? So, education, religion, military position and pursuits. Anyway, this may seem like I'm rambling. I promise you I'm not. But what I'm saying is we have to be leery. We have to be leery and aware of where we are in the system. If you care so much about just yourself, it's a good chance that you are a white supremacist. If you are not concerned about the group, that makes you a very selfish person and therefore a danger to us all. You are who I would consider a Sambo. You are who I would consider a traitor to your race and therefore dangerous to others. Because when the shit jump off, you would put your life in front of, you would protect your enemy against your own family. And that's a very dangerous position to be in. I once heard a story, I don't know if it's true or not, but Nat Turner, and you probably could Google this to see, but it made sense when this was said. When he had that uprising, he had all of the people come up and he says, "Okay, who all want to join us? Take one step forward. We're uprising. We're getting away from these white people." And he said, the people who understood, the field niggas, they stepped forward. He said, now, everybody who stepped forward, turn around and look at the people who didn't step forward. They did that. And he said, these are the people we're going to have to kill first. Because these people are going to get us caught and killed. And he was absolutely right. Again, I don't know if that's 100% true, but just the concept alone is very, very correct. You understand what I'm saying? People who are not black first are a danger to the rest of us. A flat out danger. You know, I can't say it no more deeper than that. I mean, more simpler than that. You know, I mean, it's... When you got police officers killing unarmed black people, and you're a black person and you're okay with that, you need your fucking head examined. You really need your fucking head examined. If you think these people was killed and it's perhaps their own fault for being killed, you need your fucking head examined as a black person. You understand what I'm saying? If you think that you should just be well off, you and your family, and other black people should suffer, you need your fucking head examined. If you think the problems in the black community are the problems of the black community caused by them because, you know, they bad people, they don't love God enough, they do drugs, you need your fucking head examined. We all suffer from the system of racism, white supremacy, and the fact that you don't suffer personally makes you think that you're better than everybody else. You need your fucking head examined. Please understand that. And if I'm offending you, good. Because you need to be offended. You need to be woke the fuck up. There are a few people that I can name personally in this category. If you watch them, you'll understand what the fuck I'm saying. Candace Owens, Officer Tatum fits into these categories. These people go out their way to appease white people. 90% of their supporters are white people. And they don't get it. If you are being supported, if your views make a lot of sense to white people and you're black, you a motherfucking problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's almost some common sense for your ass. You ain't no good for your people. And therefore you are a traitor to your people. And if and when some shit jump off, you don't need to be around. Because you're going to tell the white people where the black people are hiding. You're going to get everybody killed because you're a traitor to your race. It's a damn shame, man. If all of us got on the same page, police wouldn't be able to get off on killing us like this. If we had politicians in the White House who was black first, if we had law enforcement officers in high position who was black first, if we had mayors and governors that was black first, we wouldn't have these problems. Racism, white supremacy wouldn't be a problem. But when you got black people in positions of high authority who think like white people, shit will never change. That's why my people must not take these places. We must occupy these positions. You understand what I'm saying? And it starts here with you and me. It starts here with you and I, with education. Okay? So like this channel, share this channel, and subscribe, share, hit the link, hit all. You can support the cause to help educate our people, especially our young minds, to the channel. My Cash App information will be in the description. My email will also be in the description if you want to take the classes. There's a $49 option and a $199 option that you can take advantage of. And those classes are for me to teach you about your Aboriginal heritage. Okay? And you might be saying, well, what do I mean in indigenous Aboriginal heritage? Well, again, early on I told you there was two Americas. There's Black America and And then there's white racist America. You as a black person are the original owner of America, Turtle Island. You are an American. Your identity was stolen by white Europeans. That may sound crazy to you, I know, but it's absolutely true. You want me to prove it to you? All right. And I do this on most of my videos as well. But let me just ask you a question. Have you ever heard any rumors that you might have Indian in your family? 90% of black people will say yeah. While they probably couldn't tell you much more than that, like a tribe or anything, most of them will say yeah. They've heard a rumor or two. Now, and again, even when you hear that going back in the past, in your brain you've been made to believe that you believe that because you don't want to be black. Anything but black, so you want to be Indian, right? It's deeper than that. Your people knew who the fuck they was. They had no way of communicating it to you because it was illegal. Check out the Racial Integrity Act. It was illegal for black people to claim Indian heritage or Aboriginal heritage. Now, this is a 1-cent copper penny. You could it's almost identical to my skin color. Okay? Now, why is that important? Well, when Christopher Columbus came to the Caribbean islands, he described the people he saw. Other explorers who came to this continent before and after him described the people they saw. So much so that the definition ended up in a dictionary in the year 1828. And here's that definition. So if I can find it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn my camera around. American, a noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals, that's the first peoples on this soil, Aboriginal, or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. I'm going to read that last sentence again. But now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Europeans, body snatchers, right? Now, remember I said your identity was stolen? Right there tells you your identity was stolen. Because when Christopher Columbus and everybody before and after him came here, they described you and I as being here. In fact, the Indians in our history book, that's a Mongolian breed of Asian. Those folks came across the Bering Straits about 10,000 years ago. That's what paleontologists say. Those folks were Eskimos. Yeah, those folks were Eskimos. Look on your 2020 census. Okay. It says Indian, right? This is a paragraph. I'm going to read this, but Indian. It says American Indian, an Alaskan Native. For example, Navajo Nation, Blackfoot Tribe, Mayan Aztec, Native Village of Barrow, Inputu, Traditional Government, Nome, Eskimo community. These folks are Eskimos. That's all they ever was. So, when the Europeans, after being here a couple of years, they started to formulate a plan. And basically, here's how that plan went. The Eskimos who they saw was here. It was a very small number of them, right? They say, you know what? We're going to tell people that those people are the Native Americans, are the nation's first people. All of those copper-colored people walking around here, all those black people, we're going to tell people we brought them here as slaves from West Africa. So we can claim the title of Americans. White people are the only people don't have a prefix in front of their names. Or I'll put it to you like this. You have Asian American, Chinese American, Black American. But you never hear anybody called a European American. That's because they think this continent belongs to them. That's why they tell people all the time, they get mad at them. See some Mexican people, y'all need to go back to where y'all come from, because they think this shit belongs to them. No, this continent belongs to you and I. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why it's so important for us to get this information in our brains so we can start to move differently. We got to stop looking to Africa for our home, because that's not our home. Africans are aboriginal to Africa, just like Australians are aboriginal to Australia. You understand? This is home. Always has been. Your identity was viciously stolen. Viciously stolen. We have been so completely lied to on purpose. If it wasn't true, if it wasn't so true, it'd be laughable. But it's not. It pisses me the fuck off. But it's going to take all of us to get this information quickly and start to operate differently. Okay? Now let me tell you something about the so-called slave trade. All of us are familiar with the story, and also too that theory of the out of Africa theory. That was white people created that story to help them to continue to steal our identity, and they also stole the identity of the black Europeans. I won't get into that in this video. Same thing they did in Europe. They came here to America and tried to do the same thing, or are trying to do the same thing. And halfway had if it wasn't for us right now recently starting to wake the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, so the slave trade, right? Growing up, they told us they tried to enslave the Indians when they got here. Indians would fight, run away. We couldn't find them. They couldn't take the heat, hard work, and so they run away or die. So therefore, these white people had to go get West African slaves. Is that not the story you heard? Yeah, because that's the story we all heard. And that story was a lie. A big fucking lie. And anybody my age or older probably saw that movie, The Roots. Again, in that story, Alex Haley plagiarized from a white guy. He got sued for it. Google it, look it up. It's true. He made that shit up. But the reason white people got behind him and helped him make the movie, because again, it helps their narrative. It strengthens their story. And it continues to put us in perpetual mental slavery. But anyway, that transatlantic slave trade, complete and total lie. Slavery for us here in America actually happened in reverse. They enslaved us here and sent us to Sierra Leone, West Africa, to Spain, to Europe, and to other parts of America. It's like a big ass fucking shell game. You understand what I'm saying? Now here's proof of that. And this is another Google search. Okay? And here's the name of the real slave trade that took place in the Americas. Okay? It says, European colonies purchased indigenous people as slaves as part of the International Indigenous American slave trade, which lasted from the 15th century, that's the 1400s, to the 19th century, which is the 1800s. Why have you never heard of this? Why have you not ever heard of this? This is in the encyclopedia. They had no intention on you knowing about this. This blows the whole lid off the lie of racism, white supremacy. This slave trade started in the 1400s and it lasted until probably the ender parts of the 1800s. The so-called transatlantic slave trade didn't start to 1619. And I think it lasted up to about the 1700s or some shit. But anyway, it was a way of misdirecting your attention. You see what I'm saying? So we have been viciously lied to, and it's up to us to accept this information, research it for ourselves, talk to our own relatives, but get educated on this. Again, for $49, I'll send you a list of, God, it's got to be over 70 hours of videos, easy to watch videos The same videos I watched that turned me onto this information. Or you can spend $199 for a coaching class. You get the same information, but you get me as a coach to help you through the learning process. Because I went through what I consider the 5 stages of grief, you know, and you don't need to go through that, because you're going to be losing your fake identity, and you're going to be gaining your true identity. But because you're losing something, you're going to grieve it. You're going to grieve the death of your made up identity. And the 5 stages of grief are denial, I'm just gonna look them up because I just like saying them out loud. I don't know, retarded like that. Let's see. Let's just go 5 stages of grief. Yeah. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. So having a coach can blow you through those 5 stages quicker. Whereas me, I may have lingered in them for months. You know, it happens. I went through these stages when my mother passed. Did not know anything about these stages, but I remember denying her death because, hell, the woman in the casket did not look like my mama. You feel what I'm saying? It was just like, that ain't my mama. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you get very depressed. You know, you don't want to get up in the morning time. You just ain't yourself. And then you go to bargaining. Bargaining, you start to say, well, you know, if this is true, then why not that? You know, you question things. You're bargaining, and then you're gonna become angry. Hell, I even got arrested during this time. You know, when you're angry, you make bad decisions. You know, and that actually happened to me. And then you know, and then you finally accept it. You go into acceptance. So I went through those stages when my mama passed. Did not know it until later on in life when I actually saw these stages. I'm like, damn, you know, I remember each stage that I went through. And then when I learned this information that you know, that we're Aboriginal Americans or Indians, I went through the same stages. You know, I would back off the information, whereas I should have just poured through it. It took me weeks to kind of readjust my brain to it. You know, I'm like, whoa. So those was the stages I was going through. And me being your coach, I can help you through that. Okay, so I do offer that. My email will be in the description across from PayPal information, but that's my personal email. So just, you know, send me an email. Let me know which one you're interested in, or if you want more information about that, I can supply that. Because I believe enough of us who get together and understand who we are, we teach our kids who we are, that's when things will change for the better, for all of us. You understand what I'm saying? So, we all got to start somewhere, people, and I think this is a good place to start, okay? So, I'm going to end this, this video. And again, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscription and hit the bell, and then hit all so that you're notified when I make other videos or go live. But again, the original topic of this video was the reason the police are not being arrested and brought up on charges for killing unarmed innocent black people is because America will not punish its race soldiers. Because the system of racism, white supremacy, they cannot afford to punish their race soldiers, because the system would be losing its enforcement arm. And that would make the system weak. It's going to be up to us to destroy the system of racism, white supremacy, and replace it with freedom, justice, and equality. And on that note, I'm going to end this video, okay? Thank you. Have a good evening.